What's up, Pat?
What's going on? We're here on a absolute Eastern Coast blizzard
Yep.
Sunday morning in New York City and Washington D.C. My
So
God,
it's a great time to sit around and talk about sumo.
exactly. And man, what a tournament! I mean, gosh, I feel like we say this every time, but here we are
We
again,
do.
and it just gets me every time. I mean, it was just
It was nail
you know we
biting.
we were talking about it like a little bit before we started recording, just very briefly, but it's like there's so much that happens in the beginning of this tournament, and 2 weeks is really a long time relatively. It doesn't feel like it goes by fast, but it's such a long time that you can have a whole like story arcs that take place like before and then come into play later, and like by the end of it you like forget about some of the crazy stuff that happened at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we get into it,
Yeah.
what have you got to sip on?
Well, I don't have a Japanese beverage, but I do
Oh,
since I know I'm a monster. I'm sorry, but since it's snowing, I have a vintage cola with a snowman on it.
okay.
So
Olipop.
that's what I'm going to be drinking this morning. Not as fun as some whiskey, but at least it's
No.
winter themed.
Well, that's what I'm sipping on. This was a
Ah,
gift from one of our viewers. Um, Actually, he's one of my friends for like 25 plus years, but he also watches the channel. So
I was going to say you should clip my face there. I'm like, it was.
yeah, so it was totally separate. But
That
he's
is technically true. That
one
is
of my
true.
one of my friends who just watches the channel to support us.
He's an OG.
Yeah, he really is. This is Hibiki. It's a Suntory whiskey blend.
Oh my God,
So
beautiful.
it's not too much because it's still morning,
Just
and
a little
I
taste.
I don't know if I'm working tomorrow yet.
Oh
So
yeah, Lord knows.
let's see. Well, here we go.
Well, here
Cheers.
to an awesome Basho. Cheers.
Mm.
Can really taste the vintage flavors here.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good tasty blend.
I believe it.
It's got a little bit of malt, but you can still got that signature Suntory's taste. So
Well, I'd hope so.
yeah, it's
That's
great.
the signature taste you know well.
Oh, okay. Well, with drinks in our bellies, let's get to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to start straight in. I mean, pretty dramatic finish.
Oh yeah,
Wow. It's tough for me, right? Because of course we both on this channel, we talk about Ionishiki a lot. I love Ionishiki. Um, Massively deserving of the win. He took the victory in a playoff. A person who's newly promoted Ozeki has not won a
yeah,
tournament on their first promotional run in
yeah.
20 years. So it's been a while since this
Shinozeki.
happened. A Shinozeki.
The last one to do it was the goat Hakuho.
I
So
kind of assumed.
Nishiki is in good company.
Yeah, wow.
Really just just crazy the rise, the unstoppable rise he's been on. And
Meteoric, some might say.
if he, assuming he'll move up to Ozeki East next time, so it's still technically a promotion. And
Yeah.
let's say, he wins that or gets a Junyu show and promotes to Yokozuna, then the next one after that, it'd be the first time he would ever like didn't promote, which is just insane. They'd be like the
Right. That's wild.
yeah. So just a crazy
Is
basho from him.
is three Yokozunas too many Yokozunas? Like what
Yeah,
is
there's
everyone gonna be a Yokozuna by the end of this?
yeah, I think so.
All Yokozunas fighting each
Yeah,
other?
pretty much. No, it's I think they've had 3 or 4 yokozuna at one time before, so
Okay.
it's not too crazy. It's just
Yeah.
before, when you had Hakuho and Teruno Fuji at the top, other guys, they would only come up to Ozeki because they never won.
Right. Right.
Because there's just such dominant guys. But now at the top, we did it happen again this Basho, Circle of Suck, where they all beat each other.
Yeah.
Aonishiki beats Hoshoyu, who beats Onosato, who beats Aonishiki, and all of them won like in deciding fashion. I mean,
Right.
Hoshoyu really beat Onosato pretty decisively.
I would
Onos,
say so.
Onosato wrecked Aonishiki, and Aonishiki. I mean, the closest one of them
Serious.
all seemed to be Aonishiki Hoshoyu, but he's still had control and beat him pretty clearly. So it's just the circle of suck at the top, which is fun. It's great for because if any,
Yes. Well, I have to say though, the only thing that makes me kind of sad is that it brings back some memories of, and I don't know the exact Basho. It was like maybe a year ago when Takanosho almost won and lost in a playoff, and it kind of reminds me of that because I love Atami Fuji. Like
yeah,
he's one of my favorites. He's just like he's again. It's almost like Ura. Like he's such a character.
I know.
He's so lovable. And he hasn't really been doing. We kind of forget, but when he kind of came up into the top leagues, he shot up really fast,
Yeah,
and people kind of thought of him as this like new phenomenon. He was like going to be the next new young guy to dominate, and then he kind of just has kind of plateaued and leveled out a little bit. To see
yeah,
him come to the final match and then lose it at the end, it does kind of hurt me because like I just don't know when he's going to have that opportunity again.
yeah,
And hopefully this is the start of him having more opportunities like this, but it reminds me a little bit of Takanosho when he almost won the thing. You're kind of like, man, these guys who like will probably never be Ozeki, probably never be Yokozuna. It's like you'd love to see them just win one tournament to kind of have their moment in the sun. And I selfishly kind of wanted that a bit for Atami Fuji, but not to take anything away from Ayonishiki. But there's a part of me that kind of would have liked to have seen the baby boy get the win there.
yeah. I would have loved to have seen Atami Fuji get the win. I was pulling for him. It's a situation where I would have been happy with either one, but
Yeah,
for
100%,
the
100%.
situation you said, I would have liked to have seen that. Now Atami Fuji did come in his first two Bashos in Makuuchi. He won 11-4 and Megashare
Right.
15-8. So, and I'm just looking because I think he lost in a playoff to yes, he lost in a playoff. You remember to Takakeisho, and we talked about it
Oh yeah.
because Takakeisho busted out the Henka on him.
Yes, I
And
do remember
so, yeah,
that.
we talked about that. So, and at the time, it was like, all right, he's the young gun coming up. He's got to learn some lessons. Hopefully, he'll be back here. And it took him 2+ years, but
That's
he
wild.
so it's good to see him back up. So hopefully, he can maintain it.
I
I
hope so
mean,
too. I do think he fought really strong in general.
yeah,
Like he had some really
yeah,
high profile wins, and it wasn't just like he was only fighting the lower ranked dudes and kind of snuck his way through. Like he had some really some real fights out there.
yeah. I mean, he absolutely pancaked Kirishima on day 14, which I know made you.
Yes, he did. Yeah, no, that was one of my favorite stories. I think in terms of well, for me, I'll let you talk a little bit too, but my quick disappointment too is obviously Ura. I talked a big game on him, and obviously he completely didn't do good. I will say his final fight there versus Tamawashi on the last day was pretty sick. And
Mhm.
me, I'd like to see him be doing more stuff like that. Like, has all these tricks, he has all these flips, he does all these ridiculous things, and his
Yeah.
last two fights he kind of won by like sidestepping or kind of like using it using his body in kind of like a different way. Like instead of
Mhm.
just the blunt force, he always kind of does something a little different. So for me, like seeing him kind of do these different techniques, it
You want to see him do more of that of what he's doing.
Ura's always doing weird techniques and always doing interesting moves, and I think that's partially part of his downfall, right? Because like
Yeah.
the weird moves, like the back throws, don't always
Mhm.
work, even if he tries them. So it's like he'll never be like one of like the all time greats in terms of wins, just for that reason.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him kind of try a couple more things, like using his interesting moves to his advantage, using more side steps, using his body in a creative way, like he did against Tamawashi in the last fight.
Mhm.
And maybe that could help get him a more than a abysmal,
And
unfortunate record.
being creative and what when he should have got the win on day 3 against Onosato. Um, we
That,
can we can talk about this pretty quick.
yeah, go ahead.
Just I mean, I don't understand. Like they call dead body, uh,
Yeah,
but he was actively lifting up Onosato's leg. When I hear, when you think the term dead body, you
it's a
think like
complicated term.
it's very complicated. but it's the body is like you aren't your body you're not actually like participating, right? Like you don't have any
Right.
control. And yes, Ura was falling back, but he was lifting up Onosato out of the
Yeah.
ring. And you can say, you know, Onosato's arm touched down for safety reasons, which is a lot of the reasons times they call dead body for the other person if the arm touches down first,
Right.
because it's a safety thing outside the ring. But Ura was inside the ring. He
Yep.
was making the winning move, and the
Right.
Onosato touchdown first. Like it's just it's and then you see a lot of people were really angry and upset about this, but then you see other people who came out and said, "Oh well, they you have to go with them. That's like their call. It's the dead body ruling." Um, Almost being like, "You Western fans, you don't get it." But then you see the reaction um, in the stands, and then you can read on like the YouTube and see some of the Japanese comments. So it's not like a Western fan thing, and even
Yeah.
the head referee Takadagawa Oyakata, who was former Sekiwaki Kinoshima. He said opinions were divided in the video room. Onosato's hands touched down early, but Ura's body was gone, unable to continue the match. Onosato's athleticism pressure forced the rematch. When it's unclear, you do it again. Rematch favors a stronger wrestler, which I don't get it. He says Ura's body was gone, but Onosato was airborne. Like there, like,
Right.
and he was airborne
Yeah.
first because of Onosato throwing him.
Because, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then there was another Oyakata. I have to go look it up. Who came out afterwards and did not agree with the ruling, and thought
Wow.
that Onosato was out. So,
Yeah.
or Onosato should have the loss. So it's just like we said,
I
or
mean, these things happen,
yeah.
right? And it's a reality of sumo. But the issue, like, there's all like anytime you have a sport where there's no video replays and you have matches that are decided by four dudes who are sitting next to the ring,
Well, they
you're
do
gonna
have
have
video
issues.
replays. They do have video replays, and there's
But
that.
the guys making the decisions don't look at those, is what I'm saying.
Well, you're right. So those four don't, but it does go to a video room, and they communicate between them.
Right, but they don't have
Yeah,
authority
you're
over
right.
overthrowing a decision. No, I
But
hear what you're saying.
yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like there's gonna be flaws with it. Period. So
Mhm.
there's gonna be bad calls. There's gonna be mistakes, and realistically speaking, there aren't that many bad calls per. Like I would say,
Mhm.
like bad call ratio versus good call ratio is wildly slanted towards
Yeah.
good call. And the issue comes when you have these like the top guys, right? And then you
Mhm.
have these matches matter for the Yokozuna massively.
Yep.
So they should be being looked at more closely. But then at the same time, this was just like sometimes there's just one that's just so close that it's tough. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. I do think it was the incorrect call. I agree with you.
Mhm.
Like I think Ura should have won that one, and that's not my bias talking. I actually
Mhm.
think he had that one. But ultimately, it unfortunately is kind of a part of the sport. It just
Yeah.
is.
I mean, also if you go back and watch it, Onosato got away with a hair pull, but that's neither here nor there. And my big thing is you see people who are starting to call this like match fixing, favoring the Japanese Yokozuna, which absolutely is not fair on Onosato.
Yeah.
So it's just it's
No, I don't think I agree with that. I mean, we like listen. Ono Sato was injured this whole time, this entire match, and
yeah,
still did incredible and destroyed people that are extremely strong. So
yeah,
he
yeah,
deserves everything he gets, big time. But there's always going to be that percentage of things that go wrong, and that's
yeah.
just unfortunately a reality of it. So while I was very very upset at the time, it's part of the game.
Well,
It truly.
let's talk about how the rest of Onosato's tournament. Then, what are your thoughts?
Mm. I think it was interesting. I mean, I think we both kind of said at the beginning that like why is he doing this was the
Hmm.
question. I mean, it's like you're Yokozuna now. You don't have to fight every match. You can sit out a Basho and everything will be okay. You'll never be demoted theoretically. So like a part of me was like, why is he doing this? But then at the same time, I don't know. He wanted to prove himself, and you know, and then on top of that, he ends up actually doing quite well and
Hmm.
excelling. And not only was it like, oh, a haggard whatever, like he actually for the most part did really strong. And even in the last couple fights there, yeah, when he beat Aonishiki yesterday,
It's
he's
just
not even really using his left arm. He was pretty much only using his right arm.
yeah, it was
And it's
pure
like he's
power.
still he still destroyed him using one, like literally one arm. So
Mhm.
it's like I don't know, is the whole thing like a big? It's I guess it's just a big flex. Ultimately, it's pretty impressive though.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, and this goes for both Yokozuna, because I think they both had, like, both finished 10-5. They had a very similar Basho overall. Of They both had moments of absolute brilliance, and
Yeah,
moments where it was like, man, take time off, like rest up. Um, Before the Basho, the winter tour that they went on had 22 venues in 22 days. And then
Jesus.
the tour they're doing in April is 27 days with only 1 day off. So these guys are not getting the rest they need between
No,
Basho.
not at
It's
all.
it's absolutely ridiculous. And even if hey, they're the tours, the practices, you can say that they're not going 100%. It's still physical activity. Even if you're lightly
Yeah,
training, you still need full days off to let your body fully recover. So there, these injuries that they have, I just don't like you. Hopefully, they take a few weeks off, because
you would hope.
we want all of them to be healthy, so that
Absolutely.
it's not like a and I don't see people saying this like, oh, Aonishki's only winning it all because like these guys are injured, which isn't true. Um,
No, it's not true.
but people, some, because we talked about before when Teruno Fuji was injured a lot, like, oh, well, when he's injured, that gives other people an opportunity to go up and win. And
Yeah,
it's the same here now. Whereas if both Yokozuna are out with injury because they're not resting, then other people are going to
right.
start winning, and which isn't, you can't blame them for that. But it's just we want to see everyone healthy and the best competition. And if these guys aren't resting, then we're not going to get the best competition out of it. Okay, that's my soapbox for
No, I
that.
mean, it's true though, but it is absurd to think about like, oh, I'm injured. Like, well, I'll just take a month to rest, and it's like that's not that much. That's like not much
Yeah,
time if it's a serious injury. Like, so
yeah.
before you're like right back in it, hardcore training again, and then preparing for a 2 week tournament. It's unbelievably rigorous. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about all Western American sports. They have an entire season off, not season, but months where they have
Hmm.
off to recuperate, and it's really unforgiving. So it unfortunately plays a massive part in the sport, and that's just the way it always is going to be. So
Yep. Let's see a couple other things now. The On day 8, the Emperor visited. Now
yeah,
he visited midway through.
right.
Unfortunately, I was hoping he'd be there at the beginning, because when the Emperor is there at the beginning, the Doyo Iri is a different entrance for the
Oh,
wrestlers when they all come in. So they come in, they do their march, and they stand around in the circle, they do their thing.
right.
But when the Emperor's there, instead of them all facing out, they all face the Emperor, and
Oh,
everything they do is towards the Emperor.
but they
Um,
only do that in the if it's the first match.
if he is there when they do the Doyo Iri.
Right, 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 right,
So
right.
they
Yeah,
didn't. But on that day, all four, Yokozuna and Ozeki, lost. Like
they sure did.
that has to be some sort of like bad omen. I looked it up. Like, I wrote down, surely this must mean something. I was like, oh, in the past, if Yokozuna and Ozeki lost in front of the Emperor, what I couldn't find. I was hoping for some sort of like ridiculous, you
Yeah,
know,
some stat.
and no, like some anecdote from like 500 years ago. It was like, oh,
Oh.
when all Yokozuna lost, like they had to commit seppuku. But I was like, oh, I don't want to sound like some sort of like um stereotyping moron, but like, well, because just like, that's just like, that's how the history of sumo is. Like,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
head
Yeah,
Gyoji carries a dagger so he can commit seppuku if he gets a call, like,
literally. Yeah.
or he can defend himself from oyakata, like.
Yeah, I don't think we all. I don't think we saw that one coming. That I definitely thought at least one of them would want to impress Big Papa, but
Yeah.
not today. No, that was pretty funny, but it's still cool. I had never, since we've started watching sumo, I
Hmm.
had never seen like that happen, like the Emperor. And since we started doing this podcast, we haven't seen that. So it's always cool when tournaments can be so. Sometimes you can get a little lost. They get so like repetitive over time,
Hmm.
just because like they do the same entrances and the same exact thing. It's so steeped in tradition. It's part of why I love it, but it also can get a little repetitive. So it's cool to see when like something like that happens. It's like something
Yeah.
different and kind of shakes up the formula a little bit. Is always kind of fun.
Yeah. For a few other, so just going down, Koto Zakura again, like hit or miss. He had some days where it was like, man, he's just incredible. Like he beat
Yeah,
Takayasu turning and throwing. I mean, but then
he sure.
he had some other losses. He was really weak and slow. He somehow when he beat Daisho, he looked really like that was kind of an odd match that he somehow won. Um,
Yeah, but he finished with his personal favorite record of 8-7, which he
yeah,
for the last like he's gotten 8-7. I think there's one tournament in the last like 10 tournaments where he didn't get 8-7 or something
let's see.
crazy.
Let's bring it up.
So
Um,
maybe not 10, but it's
well,
close.
yeah. So going back the last six tournaments, one time he went 9-5-1, and
And
then
then
before
every other time was 8-7.
well, then last January he was 5-10, and then 2024 November he was 14-1 with the championship. So it's
Right.
but then before that he was 8-7 the turn before that.
Listen. He's consistent. All right. He
Yeah,
likes his consistency. He
no,
likes his
he
eight and
is.
seven. He likes to
Um,
cut it close.
yeah,
But I'll give it to him. He's consistent if nothing else. But
yeah,
no, he did also impress me. He came around, and I think there were a couple things that impressed him. I mean, I did think it was funny that you had picked Abi in the last tournament, and he did like the worst he's ever done in all like his entire career. And then this one, he comes back to like almost be in the running at one point.
well, day
Uh,
11 Abi and Shishi were the 8-2 co-leaders, as we all predicted, like we all called that.
right. Yeah, we all knew it was going to be an Abi and Shishi
Yeah,
finale. We all saw that one coming. Speaking of Shishi, I think he really turned a bit of a corner
he
in this
has.
Basho.
Yeah,
It
we
was it was one of those ones where it's like I feel like I always say this, but like there's when you're watching the recaps and you're watching through all the fights, there's always like a couple wrestlers, at least in my head, that I'm like I like lock in and really care about watching, and
yeah,
it's like Shishi's like now officially like made it into that list for me because he's just so like it's like he has this way of like again, and I mean this with all love of like feeling like almost a little bit clumsy, but
mhm,
then like still really powerful and fast and like energetic, and like he really goes for it. And it was cool to see him have like an excellent boss show.
yeah.
And I'll be really curious to see because obviously I'm sure he'll have a pretty big jump going to 9-6. So he'll definitely rise up a bit and be fighting some of the bigger guys next time. So I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
yeah, and I mean he did beat some of the more wily veterans like
Hmm.
Tobizaru, Ryuden,
Yeah,
Chiyoshima. So he had some good wins. He beat Oho, but then yeah, just last few
sure.
days struggled. But it's going to happen when you go up against
Yeah,
when you're in the running. And so he lost the last 3 days in a row against Kirishima, Yoshino, Fuji, and Daisho. And so yeah, he's looking a lot more solid. He is a really high center of balance. He's got really high hips.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that kind of really long legs. So that kind of contributes to him
Reminds me of
looking more
Aoyama a little
yeah,
bit.
looking more ungainly. But yeah, I read a funny story that he does not like rice. And so within the last
That's gonna be a problem.
yeah, it's a problem in Japan, but in the stables they have kind of like I don't know, like a house mom, or they have like
Sure.
staff who are there, and there's often a matronly figure, and so she has helped for his diet, where instead of rice, it's potatoes, and so him being Ukrainian, potatoes are a very important part of the Slavic diet. So maybe
Sure.
maybe it's the power of the potato. With
Oh my god, you
with
heard it here first.
Shodai, it's raw horse meat. With Shishi, it's potatoes. So
Well, they
uh,
both provide different benefits and drawbacks.
quite different.
And I think for me, like the final thing, because I know we got to move on, but we can't end without talking about Yoshino Fuji really quick too,
Mhm,
though.
mhm.
I mean, just beating both Yokozunas in a pretty decisive fashion
Yeah,
really made a bit of a showing here, and I think has officially kind of cemented himself as truly one to watch going on here. I mean, I know obviously he's been rising the ranks. He's been it's been a pretty quick rising of the ranks.
yeah,
Very quick actually, and
yeah,
I think he's definitely one that we're going to be seeing a lot more of, assuming he can stay uninjured. Just a super powerful showing.
yeah. He rose up around the same time with uh, Aonishiki, but just
Yep.
Aonishiki when they were fighting in the lower ranks, Aonishiki was always just a little bit more ahead of him. So Aonishiki always got the uh, press coverage, if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
But
totally.
Yoshino Fuji, I mean, comes out, beats both Yokozuna, back to back, and then he finishes 8 and
Incredible.
7. Just so kind of
Makoto
crazy.
Zakura special.
Yeah,
It must have been a nod
yeah,
to him.
yeah. He's
He was like,
it was an homage to. So yeah, so I was happy because I picked him for my fantasy.
all right. Well,
And
speaking of fantasy, let's get into it.
I was say, let me just double check if I didn't have any other because I highlighted some things.
I just want to know that I want everyone to know that this is not a bipartisan review board. This is Sam is running the numbers here, and I don't have any access. He has refused to give me access. I've asked multiple times, and so these
Yeah,
are
yeah.
just everyone just take all these numbers with a grain of salt.
I cooked
Okay,
the books. I cooked the books on this one. No, just no.
there's no book.
The last. I cooked the spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet. He cooks the spreadsheet.
No, the last thing I had on day 12, Koto Zakura lifting
Oh yeah.
Avi out, like physically, like
Oh
lifting him
yeah.
up and carrying him out. I was like, Toshinoshin is back. Our favorite
Oh
Trojan boy.
man. Yeah. Oh, he sure
All
it
right.
was. It definitely reminded me of that. That's a beautiful way to end it. Yes.
All right, so we changed the scoring up for our fantasy this time, where we gave
Pretty substantially.
where it was like +1, you could get up to 2 or even 3, and then some -1 or 2 depending on losses.
Hmm.
So I had Hoshoyu, Yoshino Fuji, Fujinokawa, Midori Fuji, and Kirishima. Pat had
Oof.
Aonishiki, Ura, Toki Hayate, Nishiki Fuji, and Daisho. So a
Oh man.
pretty wide spread of
Actually,
things.
yeah, it is. I actually don't just based off of what you just said, I actually don't know who won. But I think I know. But
Yeah.
go on.
So at the beginning when we were saying, oh, you can just pick the Yokozuna and they'll win it. But
Yeah.
because of the way any losses, I had
Not
Oshoyu who had 10
necessarily
wins,
true.
but he
Mhm.
subtracted 3, so he finished up with 7. Um,
Right.
Yoshino Fuji finished with 10 because he beat both. He got +2 for both
Oh, right.
beating the Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Fujinokawa finished with 10. Midori Fuji finished 6. Kirishima finished with 12 points because he beat one of the yokes, or yeah, he beat Hoshoyu. Now, before we get to Onishi, so that is a total of 45 for me.
I feel like I'm screwed already again, but go ahead.
Ura, 4 points. Tokehati had 9. Nishiki Fuji had 6. He went out. He went fooze in the last few days, so he stopped competing. Daisho had 8. Now you had Aonishiki, and before the start, we were talking about, oh, should we do bonus points if you win it all? Because before Pat wasn't a big fan of that, and so I was like, I'm gonna, since he had Aonishiki and he forgot he had Aonishiki, I
No, I was tricking you. I was tricking you.
I said, hey, do you think the winner should get points?
Yeah.
And so we agreed on, I said, how many points do you think the winner should get? So he said, oh, like 3 is what we decided on. So Aonishiki had 13 points with +1 for beating the Yokozuna. +3 gave him 16. So the final points for Pat comes out to 43. So I still
What'd
win.
you have?
45.
Oh my god. All right, you son of a bitch. Why'd you do this to me?
How can you call Ura that?
It's
How can you
Ura's
say
fault.
that?
It's Ura's fault.
How
If
can you
he
say
just
that about our
won
pink
2
boy?
more. Oh, no, you know what? Ultimately, it's the JSA's fault because if he would have beaten the Yokozuna, then I would have won. So I blame the JSA 100%.
Yeah, if Aonishiki had beaten Onosato.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
that's
then we
close. I
wouldn't
think
have
that might be one of the closest ones we've ever had.
Yeah.
And so I actually love that because I actually think it's a fun format for sure.
Yeah. So we can we'll review it in the
Our board will review it and
Yeah.
then we'll see
Okay,
how
I'll take a look at it and be like, hey, here's what I'm thinking, and you can approve or disapprove.
the DSA,
Yeah,
the Dozo Sumo
the
Association.
Dozo Sumo. So yeah, no, we're
Yeah.
that's good. I like that.
Okay. Yeah. Write that down.
All right. Let's see. Anything else you got?
Oh, I think that's it, man. I'm really looking forward to. I just feel like we're in such an awesome time right now, especially with Ion Nishiki potentially becoming a third Yokozuna. I think it's a golden age for sumo. I think this year is going to be crazy. We got the Paris thing this year. We got me and you going to Japan this year.
We do.
We have a lot coming up. I think it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get more fans. It's only going to get crazier. So I'm really, really looking forward to what 2026 holds for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited about it all. Going to be a really great year, really
Yep.
fun.
All right.
Going to be a blast. But
Well, thanks
hey,
for watching, everyone.
that's all we have, folks. So take care. Hope you enjoyed the Basho, and we'll see you next time.
See you soon.